What's up, guys? So today in this video we're going to be seeing if the iPhone 3G is usable in the year 2024. Now, why the iPhone 3G? Well, because Simple Alpaca has not made a video on the iPhone 3G since the year 2021. So with that being said, we're going to be seeing if the iPhone 3G is usable in the year 2024. We're not going to go on all the specifications, or we will at the end of the video, but I first want to show you how usable it is. So, can you send messages? Well, you can not use you cannot send messages. I mean, you could if you live in a country with 3G, but in the United States you cannot send messages. But in countries with 3G, you could send messages on the iPhone 3G. But now in the calendar application, you can use it to check the calendar. I would recommend setting the time back 28 years, though. I'm not going to go into the Photos app, but the camera on the iPhone 3G is pretty weak. You can see right there. Take a picture. I'm not going to... See, that's so weak the camera is on the 3G. For some reason, it looks a little bit... I guess it looks the same. It gets... Quality looks a little bit worse on the camera. Just a tiny bit worse on the camera versus the phone, but... Now, so you can use the top applications just fine. Maybe not messages in the US, but if you have a 3G country, you can. Now, how about the second row of apps? Well, the YouTube, you cannot watch YouTube on the 3G at all. Okay. Let's try Maps. Well, actually, Maps connects. It will connect to Maps on this device, but you cannot. But because since I don't have the internet, I don't think I'll be able to connect to Maps. Yeah, but the Maps app does work. Notes app works. I have personal notes in there. iTunes and App Store doesn't work. I won't be able to show you because I don't have internet on at my cottage. Settings is just the settings app. Phone, again, does not work unless you live in a country with 3G. Mail and the Mail app doesn't work. Safari works. The iPod is a music app. Again, I don't want to get copyright striked, so I'm not going to open up iPod and show you the music I got, because I do not want to get copyright strike. Contacts, Cydia does kind of works. You can use it for app sync, and that's actually how I got all these applications here. Same thing with iFile if you want to edit something, but I wouldn't recommend that, though. But Cydia works. It's probably the only thing that Maps and Cydia are probably the only two things that work with that. I would say rely on more than the internet, if you could say that. All these apps work. Unfortunately, Talking Larry doesn't seem to work on the iPhone 3G. Boom, it just crashes. That unfortunately does not work on the iPhone 3G. But like if I want to open Angry Birds Halloween Edition, for some reason it's white. It has no color app. On iOS 4, most apps will work. I would say on iOS 4, most of these apps will open, and on iOS 3, most of these apps will not open. Just so you know. Here's another example, Flow Free. That also works. 90% of the apps that you can be, I would say 90% of the apps they can indeed download will work on iOS 4, but they will not open up at all on iOS 3. It'll just crash in iOS 3. The other 10% will either crash in iOS 4 or not, or work on iOS 3, but you know what I mean. The apps, most of the apps you see here work on iOS 4, but don't work on iOS 3. I personally have my 3G running iOS 4.1. Yeah, so, and of course all the other apps work. Another app that actually requires you to be running 4.1 is Where's My Water. It's pretty nostalgic for not working on iOS 3. And again, you do need AppSync in order to download these apps. Of course, it's going to take a long time to load on this phone. Kind of hard doing this through the camera. Kind of have to look behind it. I just want you to hear that. It's the nostalgic sound from when iOS 5 and iOS 6 were out. So 2012 is probably when iOS 4.1 actually supported apps. So can you use an iPhone 3G in the year 2024? Well, not really, but all of these nostalgic apps will work on iOS 4.1 and 4.2.1. You can use an iPhone 3G in the year 2024, but it's like you'll be stuck on the nostalgic apps and the apps that actually come with the phone. You won't be able to get any of the new apps on the iPhone 3G anymore. But you can use it, and I will be getting Fruit Ninja 1.0 on here because that came out in 2010. I'm pretty sure Fruit Ninja 1.0 will work on the iPhone 3G. Or maybe it doesn't have the hardware. I'll have to check when I get home, but I haven't tried downloading Fruit Ninja on here, but so yes, you can use an iPhone 3G, but you're just, I guess as a nostalgic iPod Touch, you should, now is it worth it to buy an iPhone 3G? Well, you can buy it, you should probably, as a nostalgic iPod Touch, yes, you could use it as a nostalgic iPod Touch, but you can't really use it as a new iPhone anymore, but now we have to go over the specs of this iPhone. First off, the design. It comes in, I'm going to take my case off very carefully. You can see it comes in a shell, same colors as the 3GS. You can get this shell in white or black. Screen is going to be black, regardless if you get the shell in white or black. Yeah, so you can use these, so you do have a couple colors on this device. You can get white or black. Now, this white one's only 16 gigabytes though. If you want a 8 gigabyte, you can only get a black shell. Now, in terms of the iOS, it started off with iOS 3.1, or no, the iPhone 3G started off with iOS 2.0 and can be updated to 4.2.1. Mine is running 4.1. Now, yeah, mine is running 4.1. But yes, you can use the iPhone 3G. It's just unless you're running 4.2.1, it's going to be very difficult to find actual good apps that work on it. But it's not that bad, but yeah. And now, it has a 2 megapixel camera that can record very choppy video or not so good photos anymore, but it's better than the iPod 4 or iPad 2 camera. Like the iPad 2 front camera, I wouldn't want to take videos on that, but the iPhone 3G, it definitely has a better camera than the iPad 2. So the iPhone 3G has definitely got a much better camera than the iPad 2. Which is also the same as the iPod Touch 4th generation. Now, lastly, ending it off with the battery life, the iPhone 3G started off with a 1200 milliamp hour battery. So the 3GS shipped with a 1220 milliamp hour battery, whereas the 3G shipped with a 1200 milliamp hour battery. So the 3GS actually is 20 milliamp hours bigger, but that probably isn't the case after all these years of usage and charging. You're going to be down at least 20% of battery capacity. So if you're down 20% battery capacity, that would mean that you're probably not at 1200 or 1220 milliamp hours, depending on, but we're talking about the 3G, so it'd be 1200 milliamp hours. So you're not at that full 1200 milliamp hours anymore. You're probably only at, if you have a 3G, yeah, you're probably only getting about 890 milliamp hours, which is smaller than the iPod Touch 4th generation's capacity. Is it worse than the iPod Touch 4th generation? No, but the iPhone 3G definitely does get more battery than the iPod Touch 4th generation. Just because it's an iPhone, I've noticed it's got more battery. It's stuck on iOS 4 versus the iPod 4's iOS 6. But just let that sink in. 890 milliamp hours. If you're down a good amount of battery capacity after all those years, that's probably what you'll have on your iPhone 3G compared to its original 1200 milliamp hours. On the 3GS, you'll probably be at 912 milliamp hours, which would also be smaller than that, but it's 410. But yeah, in terms of that, how long is that going to last you? It depends. Probably last you the entire day if you're very careful with it, and take good care of it and careful on not to do heavy tasks on it. Yeah, maybe a day if you're lucky on battery life with the iPhone 3G. So can you use it? I would say like iOS 4.1 is quite limited, but as a nostalgic iPod Touch, it would be great to have as a nostalgic iPod Touch. I've seen people do that for a living on the YouTube. So in terms of that, you can indeed use the iPhone 3G as a nostalgic iPod Touch, but you cannot use it as a phone. Yes, my iPhone 3G does indeed do more than an iPod Nano. Be aware of the app support that you're going to be getting on it, because probably isn't going to be very good. What apps do I have on my iPod 2nd gen? Yeah, I added that. I'm going to try also get Office Jerk on the iPhone 3G. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also going to try and get Office Jerk on it, too. We'll see how that works, but, yeah, I'm going to try and get Office Jerk on it. What else? What's the Office Jerk? Fruit Ninja, their first original version of Fruit Ninja. Yeah. As well as the old versions of Facebook and Twitter, which I know won't work. Or maybe they will, I don't know. As well as the old versions of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's what I was able to get on my iPod Touch 2G last year. So I'll be able to see if I can get those 5 applications added onto my 3G. Yeah, so, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to say in the comments if I was able to download which new apps. If I get new apps on my iPhone 3G working, I'll say in the comments which ones work. I'll say in my comments which ones work, and which ones don't work. I'll say which ones, but I'm planning on those 5 apps on my iPhone 3G. I'll see in the comments which ones work and which ones don't, but I'm planning those 5 apps right now. So just a little backstory. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, guys, peace out.